Welcome to Dr. Desserts. I'm Dr. Atoosa Kourosh, and in my book and video series, I'll show you how you can adapt your favorite recipes into healthy desserts that satisfy your sweet tooth while fitting into your diet and lifestyle. Whether you have food allergies, dietary restrictions, or you're just trying to eat healthier, I'll help you find out how you can have your cake and eat it too. In each video, we'll go through a doctored recipe, step by step, so you can find out new ways of making classic desserts into healthy treats that will satisfy everyone in your family. For more information on substitution methods and other great recipes, check out my cookbook, Dr. Desserts.
Welcome to Dr. Desserts. My name is Atoosa Kourosh. Today we're making coconut macaroons, an easy traditional recipe that's excellent at cookie swaps and easy to make into a healthy dessert, including gluten-free, low sugar, and vegan versions. So we start with 2 cups of finely shredded coconut and whatever gluten-free flour that you want to use. I'm using gluten-free oat flour and tapioca starch mixed together in half and half. And instead of butter, which usually goes into macaroons, I use coconut oil, 1/8 of a cup of coconut oil. And now I have to actually warm it up. Of course, it'll solidify again after it cools down, but while it's baking, it will be liquid. Then these are 2 egg whites, which I have lightly whisked. They don't have to be super beat or into a fluffy foam. Mainly we're using egg whites as a binder in this recipe and not as a leavening or a lightening ingredient. And then for sweetening, you can use 3 tablespoons of agave or maple syrup. You can also use coconut sugar, but if you use coconut sugar, you would have to dissolve 3 tablespoons of coconut sugar in about 1/8 of a cup of water to have the adequate amount of liquid. And then very important in flavoring is 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a generous amount, and 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. It's okay if you add a little bit more than you thought. And then you mix the whole mixture together just until it's well blended. And all of the coconut is completely moistened. It smells really good. Then you scoop it onto a tray in small macaroon-sized pieces. I use a non-stick oven tray covered in parchment paper, and I scoop using a 1/2 tablespoon measure. Okay, so now they're ready to go in the oven. Once you've placed the macaroons about 2 inches apart on a parchment-lined cookie sheet, you put them in the oven at a temperature of 350 degrees in the center rack for approximately 15 minutes or until they're lightly browned on the outside. To make a vegan version, we simply have to substitute the egg whites with some kind of egg substitute. When you're making egg substitute for a recipe, you can either use a store-bought egg substitute. Some of those actually contain eggs, so you should read the ingredients very carefully. But most egg substitutes are potato starch, and you reconstitute them to make an egg substitute. However, you have to take into account when you're making your own homemade egg substitute, as we are today, whether you're using this egg in the recipe as a leavening, a binder, or a moisture ingredient, or a combination of those. And in the case of coconut macaroons, the leavening or rising properties of eggs are not really that important, but the moisture and the binding properties are important. So if you want to make an egg substitute at home, I prefer a different kind of starch, which is made of tapioca starch. So we're going to do that today. And then you very gradually whisk in about 4 tablespoons of tapioca starch until it's a kind of a thin liquid then the tapioca will bind together and make a thicker binding ingredient. So if you want, you can actually dip your macaroons in dark chocolate. So you just swirl in the dark chocolate, and then it has a nice dark chocolate cap. And you can serve a combination of regular and dark chocolate. Hope you enjoy these wheat and dairy-free, low-sugar macaroons. For this and other recipes, check out my book, Dr. Desserts, and tune in for further video recipes coming up soon. Enjoy!